potential solution to the Fermi paradox is found. The dark forest theory. There is no denying that the cosmos is full of stars, but in the modern era, we are also confident that it is also full of planets. Since a star may support multiple planets, observation has shown that planets are more common and that they can be found anywhere in the cosmos. We have found roughly 5,000 confirmed exoplanets so far, which is a rather tiny quantity for making accurate forecasts and advances in science. For instance, it took us 2 centuries to develop a hypothesis concerning the categorization and evolution of stars. Approximately 250.000 stars were required, and that is how many there were. We will require far more information than that in order to have a shared knowledge of planets, because there are many of them, but they are all unique. Simply put, we are at the start of the exoplanet era, and we anticipate that everything will alter in a few years. However, it will probably take some time. Exoplanet research and comprehension are essential if you want to learn more about our philosophical place in the cosmos. Are we alone? We have struggled with this issue for a very long time, and we don't appear to have a solution. However, we're working on it. The so-called Fermi paradox is based on the idea that there are several planets and that the Earth is not particularly unique. How come we never managed to converse with aliens in this situation, given the abundance of planets in the universe? Who is still around? But perhaps we now have a solution. The Fermi paradox may be something you've heard of before. If intelligent life is widespread in the universe, then where is everybody? Well, if you're familiar with both history and physics, you probably already know that Fermi was a nuclear physicist who helped develop the first nuclear reactor prototype. What exactly does he have to do with aliens, then? He hardly ever wrote anything regarding extraterrestrials. It all began in Los Alamos. Fermi was seated and conversing with his co-workers about an extraterrestrial cartoon. These aliens were discovered in New York City, just emerging from a flying saucer carrying garbage cans. Fermi was renowned for both his brains and sense of humor. He was a wise man. Whereas everyone, he inquired abruptly and seemingly out of the blue. His intelligent co-workers understood what he was talking about. Everyone recognized that Fermi was making a point about the lack of conclusive proof for extraterrestrial life. We were never contacted by anyone. What caused that? Why haven't we ever gotten a note or anything to welcome us? Fermi was trying to convey these ideas with his query. There was no conclusive proof that aliens had ever visited our large, blue planet. Naturally, the conversation continued after that. We're talking about some of the top scientists in the world, nerds, after all. They enjoy having in-depth discussions on interesting topics. Due to Fermi's conclusion that interplanetary flight might not be feasible, would not be worth the effort, or that technological civilization might not exist long enough to develop interstellar travel, they turned to the subject of interstellar travel. Now, I wouldn't claim that Fermi was entirely mistaken, but remember that this is 1950. Powerful rockets weren't yet a reality and hadn't even reached Earth's orbit at that point. One thing you must realize about this is, Fermi never really gave the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations much thought. He merely pondered the possibility of interstellar travel and whether it was possible to get from one star to another or from a planet in the solar system to an exoplanet. In essence, Fermi did not invent the Fermi paradox. In any event, is it possible that we are the only life in the billions of light years of the starry sky above us? This issue has been studied by scientists for many years. Frank Drake, a scientist, created a mathematical equation to help solve it in 1961. Our star FPNEFLFIFCL equals N. The goal of the equation was to determine the quantity, N, of sentient civilizations that existed within the Milky Way galaxy, which served as the boundary in our example, Our asterisk is the rate of star formation that might enable the emergence of intelligent life on nearby planets. FP is the fraction of those stars that actually have planetary systems. NE is the number of planets in a solar system that have a potential for supporting life. FL is the fraction of those planets that actually do. Phi is the percentage of life-sustaining planets on which there is intelligent life, and FC is the percentage of intelligent life on those planets. The equation can be further simplified to n equals L/10 using the often used values for these variables. N equals 10 times 0.5 times 2 times 1 times 0.1 times 0.1 times L. Since our civilization began broadcasting into space in 1974, this equation predicts that even if we vanish from the planet in 2074, there will still be 10 intelligent civilizations in our galaxy. Scientists employ the Kardashev scale, which divides intelligent life into 3 groups, to further decompose these statistics. Civilizations of type I are able to utilize all the energy on their home planet. We are approaching this. Most scientists agree that we are currently at a 0.7 on the Kardashev scale, with a full type 1 being about a century off. The energy of its host star can be harnessed and controlled by Type 2 civilizations, while Type 3 civilizations have access to power comparable to that of their host galaxy. Several scientists were certain that there must be a large number of intelligent civilizations dispersed around the galaxy even before the Drake equation and the Kardashev scale were developed. But the question still stands: why haven't we heard from any of the billions of civilizations that are dispersed throughout the stars? The true paradox was created as a result of these queries, the Drake equation, and the Kardashev scale. The Milky Way is 100,000 light-years vast and around 10 billion years old. The galaxy may have been colonized 1,000 times by aliens if their spacecraft could move at 1% the speed of light. Why has no other life contacted us? Currently, we actually have no idea how many technologically advanced alien civilizations there may be in the universe, and the parameters of the Drake equation are far from being precisely known. Nevertheless, numerous answers to the Fermi paradox have been put out through time. The dark forest theory is one of them. This scenario requires you to visualize the world as a large, dark forest, with people living on Earth in the same way that every other type of alien life exists elsewhere on their own planet. Only, the aliens are the ones on the search for humans. Naturally, the hunter keeps to himself and doesn't make a noise or light a lamp, otherwise, we would be able to see him and flee. However, what if, after being observed, we drew the interest of someone else? Of course, no one said that the hunter is a malicious one. You must really enjoy this video if you're still watching. Why don't you become a channel subscriber? What if one of our rivals found out? Although the dark forest theory was inspired by a book, it can resolve the Fermi paradox. Regarding aliens and other intelligent life forms, we don't know for sure. Whether they are evil or nice is unknown to us. Since we don't know anything about them, we should probably exercise caution when speaking with them. Despite the fact that humans haven't yet developed interstellar travel, we can still interact with extraterrestrials. We are capable of communicating with other galaxies. Even while interstellar travel isn't yet feasible, interstellar communication is. For instance, using a laser to communicate with another alien culture is the most straightforward method. Lasers produce strong light beams. Once you send one, it will begin to go through the universe at the speed of light, eventually getting to stars, planets, and comets. Despite being extremely rapid, the speed of light has a finite amount of space. This implies that delays would have an impact on signals. However, this is not a serious issue. It will happen eventually. In any event, we've accomplished far more than simply launching a few radio laser beams into space. For more than 50 years, high-frequency radio, television, and radar transmissions have been mistakenly sent into space by humans. Even though any alien viewers would need to construct a very big antenna, measured in acres, our first TV transmissions have reached thousands of nearby stars. SETI researchers haven't shown much interest in broadcasting up until now. There are various causes for this. To begin with, our civilization is a young one in terms of technology. Although radio has only been around for around a century, high-powered signals have undoubtedly been sent by some societies for tens of thousands or even millions of years. Since we are the newcomers to the technology scene, it might be best for us to start by listening. Some people have also voiced concern over the possibility that broadcasting could be harmful by physically drawing attention to our existence. However, the proof of technologically advanced life on Earth has already left the planet and is traveling through space. These transmissions cannot be recovered. Speaking of the signals we send into space, the Voyager probes are already leaving the solar system and could be intercepted if there is an advanced civilization elsewhere in the universe. These rovers serve as the universe's ambassadors for humanity. Is this a benefit or a drawback? Although we don't know for sure yet, we are certain of one thing: we did more than just light the torch in the pitch-black forest. The Black Forest hypothesis is a very sinister hypothesis. For almost a century now, we have been screaming to the cosmos about our existence. A deluge of radio waves would be coming from our direction, bombarding any aliens within 100 light years of us. We might experience a difficulty if we had a good motive to keep aliens from learning about us, as Stephen Hawking believed we did. Why aren't aliens communicating with us yet? If this is the right answer, they are deliberately hiding out in outer space out of dread of dying. Then, should we also stop announcing our presence to the universe? Or maybe life on other planets might be a little nicer than it has ever been on Earth. Here's where the video ends. Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on the dark forest hypothesis? Please share with us in the comments area below. See you next time on the channel.